And going again. Yeah. Oh, man. You guys, no, can't do it twice. We need a big no. Don't do it twice. We're back. We're back in the studio. Of course, everything technology. We got to plug everything back in. Folks, election night. Spend it with us. Do not forget. We will be here 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Rumble.com/Bongino. That is our exclusive home. We got Julie Kelly. We got Mike Benz. We got a crossover with Steve Crowder. We've got a huge show for you. Do not miss a second of election night. You don't need cable news. You only need the Dan Bongino show. I'm going to give you the real inside scoop behind what happened with the Donald Trump interview. So get ready. The media, I can absolutely categorically prove to you from a firsthand account, is 100% bullshitting you. I know you know the media sucks, but it's really important you see it and hear it from me. I was there. They are absolutely lying. I wish these people could be sued into oblivion, but the courts are full of liberal judges and you have no chance. Folks, today's show is brought to you by Medishare, the reliable, affordable healthcare alternative healthcare that can help save you money and shares your values. Find out more at medishare.com/Bongino. As I said, big show and big snapshots and sound bites this weekend, perfectly contrasting the Kamala Harris campaign with the Donald Trump campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, campaigns are snapshots and sound bites. And once you see the contrast, you're going to see why I'm convinced if we execute and bring 10 people with us, we will win this election. Many Americans are tired and frustrated by a stalling economy, inflation, endless wars, and the relentless assault on our values. Thankfully, there's companies like Patriot Mobile that still believe in America and our rights. I'm proud to partner with Patriot Mobile because they're on the front lines fighting for our rights, the sanctity of life, and our military and first responder heroes. Take a stand for conservative causes. Put America first by switching to Patriot Mobile today. You'll get the same nationwide coverage as the big providers because Patriot Mobile operates across all three major networks. Plus, they back their service with a coverage guarantee. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team will find the best plan for your needs. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Do it now and get a free month when you sign up and use the offer code Dan. Don't be fooled by other providers pretending to share your values of the same coverage. They don't and they can't. Join me and switch to America's only Christian conservative mobile provider, Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT for your free month of service today. All right, fellas, let's go. So I've got a great weekend update for you first. Before I get to the Trump thing, I haven't done a weekend update in a while. I know we got an election coming up. I promise I'll keep this one short. We had a big weekend, flew up to New York Thursday night. I had to get out of there as soon as I could. I don't like leaving money in New York City because it's a place I grew up in, but it's now run by communists. However, I hope you understand for the Trump interview, it was important. And if there's an opportunity to advance the cause up there, you know, i.e. help out a Republican candidate or something like that, I'm going to take it. But I will not be vacationing in New York. If I'm up there, it's for some kind of business purpose. So we went up to New York on Thursday, did the Trump interview. I'm going to get to that. Flew to Charlotte. Went to go see the Morgan Wallen concert. Got a pick up there now with Paula. It was our fifth one. It was great. I want to thank Morgan's team. They made it a really incredible experience. We had run into one of the guys, super nice guy. They all love America so much. It was really a really pleasurable experience. I met so many of you there. So if I met you there and we took a pic or said, we talked for a few minutes to the military guy I met, thanks for your service. You guys are awesome. It was me and Paul at the Morgan concert. So we had a good time. Now, let's get back to business. I told you it'd be a short weekend update. Don't have a lot of time with the election coming up. So I want to thank Team Trump. We did the interview. It is now at 2.74 million views. It had a record 319,000 live streamers tuned in. That was, I think, 4 times higher than the number 2 show that day, which was a sports show. We smoked everyone. President Trump is still a big draw, and the Bongino Army came through in the clutch. Thank you to Team Trump. Thank you to the Bongino Army. We have a few photos, and the photos are important here. So, look at this. This is just me walking into Trump Tower. These weirdos were freaking spying on me like a surveillance team, like a freaking FBI surveillance team or something. And those would be the pictures because they'd be grainy. There's a great picture. This looks kind of fake, but I promise you it's real. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, check these out later. If you're listening to AOD, this is me and President Trump after he walked in. They alleged he was exhausted and tired and barely made it in the room. Of course, that's all total bullshit. None of that actually happened. He couldn't have been more energetic. So here's an actual voiceover. Well, here's President Trump. I'll voice over it here. Walking into the room. Folks, does this guy look, here he is. Hey, what's up, everybody? Does this guy look like he's falling asleep? He's supposed to come over and do the interview. What does he do? Here, there's Paula there. He comes over and decides to say hello to the entire production staff first. That was Justin's phone. This is him. He had to like navigate around the cameras. So for everyone in the media saying Donald Trump was exhausted. And by the way, the reason he was a few minutes late for our interview is because he stopped to say hello to everybody on the production team, and he was doing another interview with Fox. So the media stories, which I'll show you in a second, of him being tired and falling asleep are total bullshit. He also took some pictures. There we go. We were number one. Dan Bongino Show, 317,000. Thank you to you, by the way. Self-praise stinks, but you guys came through in the clutch. Number two is Pat McAfee, a really funny sports show, good guy, but 73,000. So, folks, we pretty much kicked ass. We almost had 3 times the audience right there. So thank you for coming through. I want to show you some of the stories to show you what kind of bullshit we had to deal with after this interview. We had an hour with President Trump. It doesn't mean you're going to get the hour, folks. If you've ever done any kind of presidential visit, I'm not talking about you have to be like CBS or Fox. I mean, if you've ever done an off-the-record visit where President Trump showed up at your barbershop, you know as well as I do that the block of time they give you is not necessarily the block of time they're going to stick to, okay? That if they give you to 11 o'clock and he arrives at 11:07 or 11:10 because he's doing something else, you don't get to extend it 10 minutes because he's got another stop after that. You know, dumbasses didn't know that. He was a headline from the Daily Beast. Again, another freaking disgusting episode. Matt Wilstein, I sent him an email basically telling him to go F himself because he's a dumbass. I asked him if his parents, again, tell people they have no living children. I did. You know, Matt Wilstein, please feel free to put the email on Twitter because he's a D-bag loser with no credibility. Exhausted Trump can't make it through interview in his home. Absolute total bullshit. I just showed you the behind-the-scenes video. He spent extra time greeting the whole production crew. It took us a few minutes to get the interview started. Here's Raw Story. I mean, Raw Story is just obviously a bullshit outlet. Sarah K. Burris, who knows what the hell is this? I mean, this loser, really, this is like not even GED level fake news. Is Trump okay? Confusion as exhausted ex-president abruptly ends friendly interview. Abruptly? What do you mean? The time it was supposed to end? What are you talking about? I would have asked 10 more questions. You can't. He's got somewhere else to go. He had another interview. By the way, here are receipts incoming for asshole Sarah K. Burris and even bigger asshole Matt Wilstein from the Daily Yeast, 2 scam outlets. Here he is. So he was supposed to leave at 11. That's when he so-called abruptly ended the interview. He ended it, Justin, you were there, right? So abruptly that he stayed for an extra 10 minutes after abruptly ending it. To do what? To sign a bunch of stuff. Here he's signing the Dan Bongino Show flag that's going up in our new studio. There's Justin and me sitting there. I mean, Justin, you were there. You're in the picture. Did he abruptly end anything? He was scheduled till 11. I'll prove it to you in a second. And then he stayed extra. Here's a couple extra pictures. There's me and Paula. Does he look? Look at him. Oh, he looks so tired. Justin, doesn't he look tired? Michael, how tired does he look? Oh, my gosh. How did he make it? Folks, someone put a cot behind this guy. Oh, my God, he looks so tired there, too. Look, there's Guy, there's Justin, there's Paula, there's me. Look how tired he looks. Oh, my gosh. Like someone get an IV in this guy. Give him some vitamin C and NAD. Tired? He said he would have taken 20 more pictures if the staff and Secret Service didn't tell him he had to go. So, more incoming. I would never do this ordinarily, but again, I'm sorry to spend a lot of time on this, folks, but we have an election coming up, and this is not about me and my interview. It's about everything the media tells you about Trump now and forever. You should assume is false because there's a 50-50 shot it is. Here's the email from his crew. Mentions when the production team would arrive. Justin and Guy got up early that morning, 5:15. You got to set up the crew stuff. They sweep it. Secret Service did a great job. Then we got to re-enter at 9:15. That's when I showed up, and they took the weirdo, freaky-deaky surveillance picture of me, which they put up, which is even weirder. 10 to 11, the Dan Bongino Show interview. That's your time. That's there. I mean, how many more receipts could you possibly need? Oh, boy. They lie all the time, folks. I just put this stuff up there again, not to wear you out with the interview. That's not the point. The point is to tell you they will never retract this story. Fuckstick Matt Wilstein will never retract his Daily Yeast story, even though I just categorically showed you it was fake. Either will Sarah K. Burris. They don't care. These people don't have any human dignity. That the fact that some of them may have kids and they have to come home. I wonder what's going to happen when they catch their kids doing drugs. What are they going to say? Well, I never did that stuff. Actually, you're a documented liar, Mom. Dan Bongino humiliated you on the show and made you look like a loser for lying about stuff. Sick of these people. They lie all the time, and everyone knows it. And folks, they're lying because this is really, really bad for them. I'm hoping you're spending election night with us. Folks in the chat, you guys, yes or no? You guys coming out with the chat? Are you guys coming to election night to join us? 7:30, rumble.com/Bongino. Again, we have an extremely limited number of tickets. We'll be doing it at Oak and Ember in downtown Stewart. It's going to be an amazing night. It's ticketed only. And the reason is fire code stuff, folks. If I was doing it in an open field, we'd invite 10,000 people. And believe me, we could probably fill it up. But it's a limited number of seats. We have a limited number of tickets. Here were the snapshots from this weekend. Folks, campaigns are snapshots and sound bites. That is it. They are nothing more. This is hilarious. Donald Trump, who knows Kamala Harris is probably lying about working at McDonald's. They have no record of it. They don't seem to know anybody who remembers her working at a McDonald's. I think Kamala Harris is probably full of shit. So does everyone else. Here's Donald Trump, who's actually now worked at McDonald's more than Kamala Harris. Here's a video of Donald Trump at the McDonald's working the drive-thru. This is a classic. Check this out.
I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Mr.
Look at that. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much
You
for
are not
everything you're
ordinary.
doing.
I can see.
We pray for you, and you are the type of person we want to be the president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, I took a bullet. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
When you think about it, I guess that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Folks, you can't beat that. This is the best retail politician the Republican Party has seen since Reagan. Let's be honest, Bush wasn't a good retail politician. Romney, forget it. Romney was the worst retail politician of any party. He's up there with Kamala Harris for being fake, okay? Let's just be straight about what it is. I mean, obviously would have been better than Obama, but I'm not even sure by how much. This guy's the best retail politician we've ever seen. The guy's like, now I've worked 15 minutes more than Kamala Harris, and the media is forced to respond on it. They're forced to respond. This is hilarious what's happening here with this. Here, put up the New York Times article. Now they've got her on the spot that the New York Times has to, the old adage, the when did you stop beating your wife question, when you ask, and then the Republican responds, beat my wife. I didn't beat my wife. And then that's the headline. Republican Joey Bag of Donuts says, I don't beat my wife. Well, what does it force people to do? It gets in people's heads that he's refuting something that happened. It gets them to look it up. This was such a powerful visit because look what happened in the New York Times. Now they're forcing people to look up, well, is Kamala Harris lying about McDonald's too? They know that Kamala Harris and McDonald's, a college job and a Trump attack, New York Times. Donald Trump has claimed without evidence that Miss Harris never worked at the fast food chain. Oh, how do they know it's without evidence? Because her campaign and a friend said she did. Again, Heather Knight, Nicholas Nahamas, two absolute life losers with zero human dignity at all. I'm amazed these people have children and can look them in the face. What a disgrace. So just to be clear, Kamala Harris makes the claim she works at McDonald's. People ask questions when. She can produce no evidence whatsoever outside of her, which is not evidence. She said it. That doesn't make it evidence. Anyone can make a claim. You got to back it up. And she finds some friend to say she did. There's no record for McDonald's or anyone else. This was genius. And then also, I want to hit on one other thing. And I'm giving you some inside baseball you don't have. These comments that the McDonald's thing was staged. One, I just showed you the media is full of shit. I just went through line by line how they lied to you about our interview, how he abruptly ended the interviews. Total lie, total bullshit. The media sucks. They are lying scumbags. They are nothing more than communist propaganda. Staged, ladies and gentlemen, everything the president, former president, and Secret Service protectees do is, quote, staged. If you're going to use the word staged, then you better use the word staged for everything Kamala Harris does too. Now, I've been honest with you. The left is not. The left is full of shit. What did I tell you? Then Kamala, I wish I could play this clip. I should have pulled it up. of me when Kamala Harris went into Wawa, whatever, I was looking for the Doritos. I said, to be fair, everything is staged. They send in a security person first. They don't want someone to knife you just to get an OTR, with an off-the-record movement, okay? Everything is staged. I said that. I always give the example of Obama in Chicago with the lemonade stand. Everything is staged. Everything. But you notice how the media, when Donald Trump does an event, it's not staged in so much as it's scripted. You notice how the media uses negative words to describe Donald Trump's trips, even though they're no different security-wise than Kamala Harris's? Yet Kamala Harris, they make you believe and they fake it that it's some impromptu, extemporaneous thing. Folks, it's all bullshit. This is the media. They suck. And they're trying to cover up for this dreadful campaign where I'm telling you now, if you execute, vote early, vote early. Everyone in the chat right now, vote early and in person. Vote early and in person. Vote early and in person. If you execute and bring 10 people, we will win this thing. Here's some more snapshots from this weekend. Here's Donald Trump at the Steelers game. Of course, ridiculous. NBC wouldn't show you a lot of this because they hate Donald Trump. Here he is at the Steelers Jet game. Chance of USA breakout. Check this out. Folks, you're not going to get a better soundbite snapshot than that. You're just not. How come you don't, to the Kamala Harris campaign and all the Kamala ass kissers out there, this is the worst candidate you have ever run. You know it. Shut your pie hole. You know it. Mark Cuban knows it. Everyone else knows it. Joe Biden would have been a better candidate. How come you don't have that? Why not? You could do it. Can they not? Can they not? To Kamala's campaign. Why can't you bring Kamala to a swing state game? Why not bring Kamala to a Packers game? It's a swing state. Why can't she get a chance at Kamala, USA, whatever? Why can't, I mean, they can find a 3-syllable thing. Hey, get that crazy lady. It's the perfect time. I mean, here, I lined this up different, but this is going to work out perfect. I promise you. I just had a moment here. So we think bang, extemporaneous off the cuff. We can do that, unlike Kamala Harris. That was a Trump extemporaneous kind of just happened moment, not planned, because they have him, because he's got support. Here's one of those moments out of Kamala Harris campaign. You tell me which snapshot's better. Check this out.
Say it with me if you know it. I'm going to sing it. Bum, bum, ba-da-dum. Hey, that's really good. Okay, let's try something different. That's 3 syllables, right? I've got another word with 3 syllables. It's ka-ma. La. You want to try it? All right, let's go. Bum, bum, ba-da-dum. Kamala, yes!
Folks, I don't know what that was. I don't know. I just got dumber. I can't afford to get dumber. I'm going to be 50 in December 4th. So it's coming up, folks. It's right there. It's right there. You know, I may be losing cerebral mass by the day. I don't know how the chronological age process is taking an impact on my central nervous system. I'm just saying, I just got dumber watching that. That actually happened. By the way, I'm embarrassed to say I have no idea who that person is. Is she some famous liberal person? I have no idea who that person is. I don't know what she was doing. I don't know what that was, but I'm sorry. The cringy liberal, middle-aged, these people out there who, I mean, I'm way above middle-aged at this point, but who have nothing going on in their lives are the most dangerous people in America right now. They go up on the stage, these folks out there with nothing going on other than liberal, hate-filled, cancel culture politics. This is the best they've got. It's what you just saw there is a total train wreck. Everything I've been telling you about the vote, by the way, is real. To throw out the polls, everything I've been telling you is real. I'm going to play for you a 61 minutes clip where even they're starting to get worried that the polls may be off. Let me say one more thing. I forgot to mention this. Folks, this is the ball, the famous ball. There it is. Donald Trump signed this for us. This will be auctioned off. We're trying to find some kind of third-party site. If not, we'll do it through Rumble or something like that. So get ready to bid if you want it. All of the proceeds, all of them, are going to go to Samaritan's Purse. Samaritan's Purse, a great charity, given the hurricane relief debts. Now, as you'll see, it is a little bit slightly smudged over the P, but I think that adds character because it was Donald Trump who grabbed the ball, and so that's whatever, the Donald Trump fingerprint or whatever. So it's a Dan Bongino ball. from someone made us. It was really nice. It's Dan Bongino's show on it too. We really appreciate that. This was from 2021, so it's from a bit ago. But it's official baseball, Rawlings baseball, Donald Trump sign. So we will be auctioning this baby off, and all proceeds will be going to charity. We will hopefully announce the winner on election night. So a lot more coming up, and pay attention to this 61 minutes clip coming up next. Of course, they added a minute for Kamala Harris. No one should refer to them as 60 minutes again. American financing. Hey, today's economic environment is still really stressful for a lot of us. But with the Fed finally dropping interest rates, there's no better time than now to put you and your family in a better financial position. If you're a homeowner, American financing is helping thousands of families just like you who've been putting everyday expenses on credit cards, getting out from underneath debt by tapping into their home's equity as well. American financing is saving their borrowers over $800 a month on average. $800 a month is like a $10,000 raise at work, and it costs absolutely nothing. To find out how you can save, they're closing some in as little as 10 days. And if you start today, you may not have to make next month's mortgage payment. There's no better time than now to turn your situation around. Call today, 888-994-7660. That's 888-994-7660. It's AmericanFinancing.net. That's a .net address, AmericanFinancing.net, NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Hey, man, just candidly in the chat, what do you guys think of you think the ball, we can raise some money with it? It's I may bid on it myself. Oh, look, who sent you that? Oh, the plank is in. I told these guys to mail it back because I don't want to get lost in a check-in. Thank you, FedEx. Good job. Here you go. Made it back. There's Donald Trump's signature on the Dan Bongino sign. It was a great night. So I'm really hoping to raise some good money with this ball. So you do your thing. And like I said, I bid on it myself, but I want you guys to have it. It was a really special moment. And you can always, if anyone ever doubts its authenticity, just play for them the podcast where he signed the ball. It's fairly obvious. And the smudge is, I just showed you the smudge, okay? Right there. So now you know. So if it's ever on, what's a Rick show again? Pawn Stars, P-A-W-N, Pawn Stars, Rick Harrison, who's a great, great guy. If it ever makes it onto the shop, you'll know. You can show him the video. And also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, Bailey Zimmerman was awesome at the concert this weekend, too. Morgan tore it up. But, folks, Bailey Zimmerman, if you've never seen this kid put on a show, this young man, he tore it up, man. That me and Paula was dancing. I think she burned like 2,000 calories that night dancing around. We had such a good time. All right, back to the show. Here is 61 minutes. I told you, throw the polls out. Disregard the polls. They are reliable but not valid. How can something be reliable and not valid? I've told you this example, and it's really important you remember this. A scale that's always 10 pounds off, it adds 10 pounds, is reliable. It's just not valid. If you're 200, it's going to show you're 210. You're not 210, you're 200. But you know it's reliably wrong, so you can make those are the polls with Donald Trump. Donald Trump runs between 9 and 5 points behind in all of the national polls every time. They're reliably wrong. They're just not valid. So when you know that, you assume that if Donald Trump is running head-to-head nationally, he may be up. That's not an excuse for bullshit red wave talk that's going to do nothing but hurt turnout. If they're going to cheat, they're going to scam, and if we don't execute, we are damn straight we could lose this thing. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. But folks, the hidden Trump voter is real. If 61 Minutes, an outright communist network that is still trying to explain away why they screwed around with the Kamala Harris interview with their second or third explanation right now. I mean, this is the first explicit one, but there was all kinds of insider talk about what happened here. Here's 61 Minutes on why presidential polls with Donald Trump on the ballot, you can probably disregard them. And it's going to sound an awful lot like what I told you knocking on doors when Trump ran in 2016, that most of the people, because I was running for office, never voted before. They were only voting for Donald Trump. Check this out.
There's something specific, particular to Trump, that makes his support hard to capture.
In these four most recent elections, the two big errors have both come when Trump's on the ballot, and the two elections without him on the ballot, we've been as good or better than our long-term average.
Say more about why you think that is.
The people that Trump mobilizes to vote really do turn out for him, but they seem to drop out of the electorate in the midterm.
My suspicion is it keeps the Kamala Harris campaign up all night long.
That there's this cohort that hasn't been capturable.
Correct.
Now, folks, cutesy time is over. I got the shirt. If you want one, store.bongino.com. Again, our portion of the proceeds for the shirts go to charity, up to you. I wear these shirts. We like them. But cutesy time is over. A lot of you in the chat may be saying, well, 61 Minutes is running this to set up a fake red wave narrative so people stay home. You know what? Maybe. I'm not going to casually disregard, you don't know what you're talking about, like I'm some smartass. You could be right. But folks, I live in a world of evidence, not a world of conjecture. And the evidence that there is a significant Trump undercount in the polling is real. Because you can go look at the polls in 2016 and 2020, and Trump ran 9 points ahead and 5 points ahead in 2020, in 2016, 2020, respectively. So what they're saying in 61 Minutes, even though it's a communist network, is real. Now, why would they be saying this? To damage Kamala Trump? Hell no. Kamala Harris. To damage Kamala Harris versus Trump? No, not at all. Of course not. They may be saying this because they're so scared she's going to get steamrolled in this election that they're trying to incentivize Democrats to get out there and light a fire under their ass. That's the only reason I can think they ran this. Folks, these media people, you always have to question their agenda. Everything they tell you is bullshit. I opened up the show with it today because it's so important. Why am I worried about this? I wasn't going to, but let me just tell you. We got essentially 2 weeks left. That's it. That's it. We don't even have 2 weeks left because people are voting now. I'm voting early in person, hopefully in the next couple days. I'm down here in Florida. You should early vote too. By the way, go check out the voter guide before you get into the polls, please. If you're voting in Nebraska, put Nebraska Republican voter guide so you're familiar with the ballot before you walk in. Vote every single issue. If you get a Republican voter guide, they will tell you what the Republican conservative position is. Doesn't mean you have to vote that way. It just means they'll give you a guide. Do it before you show up. Vote and bring 10 people. Folks, I don't want to get all cocky and arrogant about this, but I feel like we started something. I'm getting tens of thousands of people communicating with us on social media telling us they're voting early in person, and it is freaking the Democrats out. Here's what I'm worried about to get back to my original point of why I'm focused on the media. These early voting numbers have them panicked. They know it is causing chaos for them. I'm afraid the media is going to drop some new Russia collusion, Nikki Haley Drape story or whatever. And I just want to be sure you automatically assume that the story's bullshit because it most likely is. I can back it up. The media will never tell you the truth, ever. We will. I'm going to show you what I mean in a second with this explosive story about the FBI crime numbers that we warned you about. We were right and they were wrong. And it was only done to make Joe Biden and Kamala Harris appeal like law and order people, which is a freaking joke. Last break. First, get to our sponsors here first. There we go. Today's show is sponsored by our friends at Metashare. Regular listeners to the show know how passionate I am about encouraging you to support companies that share your values and stop giving money to those that don't. It's a huge issue in healthcare, big issue. You might be surprised at what some are making you pay for, procedures that you don't even believe in. And this is a huge reason why Metashare is so attractive for people who don't want to use their own healthcare dollars for procedures that might be harmful. Metashare is a reliable, affordable healthcare alternative. They're a nonprofit ministry. It's a community of like-minded Christians, hundreds of thousands of members now, by the way, and they help people save money. Many families save around $500 a month, and the member surveys consistently show they like it because it works and they can believe in it. It's time to join. Go to metashare.com/Bongino. Find out how you can access affordable, reliable healthcare and become part of a community you can count on. That's metashare.com/Bongino. It's MEDI share, SHARE.com/Bongino. Great operation. Check them out. Metashare.com/Bongino. And our last sponsor today is Beam's Dream Powder. You having trouble staying asleep, falling asleep? Listen, I've been there. It's not just about feeling tired the next day. Poor sleep takes a really horrible toll on your body. But there is hope on the horizon. It comes in the form of Beam's Dream Powder. It's been a game changer for me. See, when we're sleeping well, we can be sharper, more focused, and ready to tackle whatever life throws our way. And today, my listeners get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder, their science-backed hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Better sleep, it's never tasted better. Other sleep aids can cause that next day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. If you want to try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder, Beam's offering Bongino listeners an exclusive discount. Get up to 45% for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Bongino and use code Bongino at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for up to 45% off. Thank you, Beam. Got a good night's sleep. I was out last night. Listen, I got to be straight with you. I probably partied a little hard this weekend, so it didn't. I may have missed a little bit of sleep. So last night, Paula came in. I woke up this morning, and she was like, "You were snoring, Snow." I don't snore. When I snore, I must be tired. So I woke up today like feeling amazing. You ever get a really good night's sleep and you just crush it? You just crush it. And you wake up ready to conquer the day? That was me today. Here it is. I want to show you this supercut. It is important you pay attention to this. Everything the media is going to tell you in the next forever, but in the next 2 weeks until Election Day. Folks, please spread it to your friends. Just assume it's bullshit. I don't care what it is. Donald Trump met space aliens. Donald Trump's doing some business deal in Ukraine. It's just assume it's bullshit because it most likely is. The FBI, after we told you they released these crime numbers to paint Biden like some crime fighter. Crime is down. Everybody say crime is down. Paula went to a Walgreens in New York City. She had to pick up, we left some of the medication at home. Paula had to pick it up. She's like, Dan, I never seen this. I walked, everything's locked up. She's like, crime is down? Like crime is down so much you got to keep everything in locked cases in liberal cities? Are you shitting me? Hat tip the great Tom Elliott over at Grabian. Here's a supercut about 1:20 of the media telling you crime is down when we warned you that's bullshit. The FBI numbers were not accurate. They didn't include some big cities, and it only includes reported crime. When people have stuff stolen and don't report it, you have to take a survey. That's not what this is. Check this out.
According to a newly revised FBI stats, violent crime in America has actually gone up, not down, as Democrats claim.
Trying to make people think that crime is up when crime is down under Joe Biden. Now, I don't know how often that gets reported on this network. So if you're watching this at home, do yourself a favor and look up the data.
Crime is down across the country.
Crime is down, Jim.
Yeah.
This claim is not only not true, it's the opposite of reality. Crime has been falling for 1.5 years plus.
The FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country.
You're lying, Congressman. You're lying. We already know that there is. The FBI just released data this week. The crime is going down. Oh my God! Why do you let this man lie on your national television like this? This is not right. You may not want to lie. You may not. No, I'm not. Lying.
We have the data. The FBI literally put out data today showing that crime is down. We have to deal in facts here.
Thank you.
Okay, it's clear as day. The FBI put out statistics. The trend line is going down. If you don't believe the FBI, independent people who look at these numbers say the same thing. But the reality is that crime is going down. You don't have to twist the facts.
According to a newly revised FBI stats, violent crime in America has actually gone up, not down, as Democrats claim.
Folks, how many times, Michael, what's the batting average again on conspiracy theories? 1,000. What did I tell you? How much evidence do you need that what these people in the media tell you is bullshit? Assume everything they tell you is misinformation or disinformation. They are freaking documented, proven liars. They are nothing more than old school commies. What? All right, Bongino, I need you. Because you can see I'm kind of struggling with this right now because I feel like I'm telling you something you already know. The media sucks, Dan. No big deal. Folks, however, there are people watching this show, I assure you. It's a small group, but they're out there who I'm telling you may be still convinced in the coming days when the next Trump bombshell comes out that the story is real. Is this worth covering or should I just ignore this stuff? I feel like we've got 14 days to change the world and I cannot leave any stone unturned. If I don't prove to you categorically everything these people tell you is bullshit, there's going to be some sucker out there who believes it. We told you the FBI numbers were fake, that they weren't real. And then it turns out the numbers are fake. They were reliably wrong and definitely not valid. And then all of a sudden, the media just moves on from the story. No one goes, hey, thanks to the Dan Bongino show. Nobody does that. Not that we need the thanks, but it would show people, whatever, who gives a shit? It's just frustrating. It's not even, what's the point? I'm just hoping there's someone out there like, gosh, these guys are right. Because I feel like something's changing. Do you? I feel like something's changing. And that's kind of the good part. I feel like the more I cover this stuff, the more it becomes self-evident they're lying, which means we've changed the narrative on the media. But I also am worried about that there's just people out there who really need this push. The Kamala collapse is continuing. And it's continuing because there's this thing called the big momentum. It's a real thing. You can feel it in politics. Trump has it all. The Steelers game, the McDonald's visit, the interview circuit. He crushed it on our interview. That answer about Waldman Rink, the ice skating rink he saved in New York, which we lived through, me and my family, we lived in New York when this whole thing was going down, is amazing. I want to show you something because this is the evidence we're winning. Execute, bring 10 people, no excuses. But here's an MSNBC panel. Remember what I told you. I'm setting this up logically. These are left-wing commies. They're doing everything they can to rig this election, and they can barely find a panel of undecided voters who will support Kamala Harris. Folks, this is an MSNBC clip. It's short, but it's important. Watch.
Who's voting for Kamala Harris here? Absolutely no.
No. Not possible.
There's nothing she can do or say for us to change our mind.
Justin's like, oh my, this is an MSNBC clip. The show's laid out this way for a reason. I just proved to you these people are communists. They're full of shit. They can't even find anyone. They're in Michigan like, hey, let's pick 4 people and let's pretend they're not Kamala supporters. Let's put them down and ask them. And those 4 people are like, nah, we were just kidding. We really don't support her. There's nothing they cannot do. They can't save this woman from herself. There is going to be scamming. There is going to be cheating. There is another bullshit collusion story ready to come out any minute that they're just going to make up. What is it? I don't know. They're going to make it up. But they cannot save this woman from herself. Here's another liberal clip from CNN. Now, this guy, Harry Anton, we've been using him a lot. He is a pollster over there at CNN. He's the only guy telling the truth to liberal audiences. Here he is saying, hey, man, if you guys are riding this wave thinking like this big anti-Trump vote is going to show up, he's basically saying he's more popular now than he was in 2016 and 2020. Good luck with that shit. This is CNN. CNN, check this out.
I think there are a lot of folks such as myself who think that Donald Trump's unpopularity is baked in. But here's the deal. If you believe that Donald Trump has somehow become less popular over time, let me change your mind about that. In fact, he is more popular at this point in the campaign than he was at this point in the 2020 campaign or the 2016 campaign. Look, he's still underwater, right, with a negative 9-point net favorability rating. But that is higher than he was in 2020 at minus 12 points when he nearly won. And it is way higher than the minus 27 net favorability back in 2016 when he did win.
Folks, forget the minus 27 favorability in 2016 because, again, it was reliable and not valid. Forget those numbers. They're probably all bullshit. But assume it's reliably wrong and Trump was maybe underwater by just a few points because he won in 2016. If he was down 27 in favorability in 2016 and in this CNN operation where they're covering this poll is only down 9, so a third of that now. If you execute and vote early in person and bring 10 people, we will win this thing. We will win it, and we will win in a lot of places where it's going to open a lot of eyes. If I'm anxious, man, not nervous, panic kills, but I'm anxious because they're going to scam. The good news, again, this woman can't save herself. Campaigns are only pictures and sound bites. That's it. There isn't a single undecided voter right now who's voting on the issues, okay? They can look at the issues. They know Donald Trump's tax cuts, Kamala Harris tax hikes. Kamala Harris wants no restrictions on abortion ever. Donald Trump believes the states could control. They know the issues. They can look them up. They are voting right now on leadership and characteristics. I'm not saying that. I shouldn't say they don't care about the issues. They do, the undecided votes. They definitely care about the issues. I don't mean it in an insulting kind of way. I just mean they know the issues and they're just trying to determine who's the better leader at this point. And what does she do, Kamala Harris? The single worst candidate I have ever seen. Why the hell would you want to alienate a group of people that is one of the largest swaths of a voter bloc in the entire country? People of faith, Catholics and Christians. Why the hell would you want to do that? You may have seen this weekend. It went viral. Someone says Jesus is Lord at a Kamala rally. And instead of, folks, candidly, most of the Democrat Party that's liberal does not want faith in their party at all. Matter of fact, they'd strike God from their party platform, right? But you don't have to say anything. What does Kamala Harris do? Because she's the worst candidate ever. Someone in the crowd yells out, Jesus is Lord. She tells them they're at the wrong rally to go to the other one. Whoever told her to say this, or if she thought about it off the cuff, should be fired. This woman should never run for office. I've never seen a candidate so stupid in my life. Check this out.
With the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
And Justin said they got tossed out, too, for saying Christ is King, Jesus is Lord. There's a Catholic high school in my neighborhood, Christ the King. We used to lose them in basketball all the time. I went to Archbishop Malloy. I mean, you're kicking them out? This is the single dumbest candidate we have ever seen. Folks, snapshots and sound bites. What did I tell you? What was the reason that clip is so devastating is not just that she's going to alienate Catholics, Christians, and candidly other people of faith too. Why is it so devastating? Apply the Bongino rules of politics. Because it's short and it's soundbite friendly. Oh, you're at the wrong rally. Notice she doesn't go into a treatise on why. She doesn't explain away. But by the way, then she starts cackling and smiling. The picture is of her cackling and smiling as she's throwing Christians and Catholics out of her rallies while saying, you're at the wrong rally. Think of the sound bites that have sunk campaigns. Deplorables. Why do they work? Because they're short, digestible TikTok clips that impressionable people see. This woman is an idiot. All she had to do was ignore it and say, hey, we appreciate your perspective. Thank you for coming out. You know, people of faith are welcome in our party. She's too stupid. She cannot save herself. Now, contrast that with the snapshots and the sound bites from the Catholic Al Smith dinner Kamala Harris didn't go to and sent a cringy video, which was so unbelievably stupid. I heard from people who were there. People were cringing and they couldn't wait for this horrible thing to end. Donald Trump shows up at the Al Smith dinner. A lot of Catholics, raises a lot of money for Catholic churches and organization out there. Pretty powerful voting bloc. People of faith. It's a funny, lighthearted dinner. Here are the top 5 jokes from Donald Trump at the Al Smith dinner, where he absolutely slayed. And again, you tell me who won Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Check this out.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially The city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. A major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep him away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
Folks, guy's the alpha. The guy is the alpha. You see how he puts his hand on Chuck Schumer? You body language folks, you know it. You can read it. He is the alpha. Totally slayed. It's not even the jokes. It's the delivery. Kamala Harris alienates Catholics. Donald Trump shows up in New York to the Al Smith dinner and slays because he's the best freaking retail politician we've seen in a long time. Hat tip Colin Rugg for that video, by the way. Nice job putting that together. Hey, I need a favor from Rumble. Folks, we're doing some tests for election night. Yeah, while we're live here, because we're Rumble and we're always looking for the best user experience possible. I need you guys to break the chat for me right now. Can everybody just put whatever? Yes, no, Y, A, B, just put a letter. Everybody just go into chat and break it. I'm asking you to break it right now. Chris at Rumble just sent me a text. He is the CEO. He wants you to break the chat if you can. Type a letter, a number. We don't even care. Put anything in there. Hello. Yes, tear it up. Shut it down. I want 170,000 people to, there we go. The chat is now going Millennium Falcon light speed because the Bongino army is strong. Break the chat. Smash it to pieces. We just want to be sure on election night, everything is, man, you're not breaking it. You're not breaking it. Step up, Bongino army. Oh, it is? Okay, good. Everyone, someone better get an unresponsive chat thing soon. Break the chat. Break it. Break the chat. Well, remember, you ever see Gary Oldman in Professional? Everyone, Sarge? Everyone! Break that chat. There you go. Shred that for the rest of the show while I'm talking. Nobody can do it but us. Nobody can do it. Nobody's got the volume. Oh my gosh, this thing is still going. Man, it's like the Falcon. The Falcon. You know when they go, oh, I saw a star. Oh, yes. There we go. It's like when Chewie's got to hit the Falcon drive and it hit the thing. That's still going. You guys, I love you guys. All right, I've got some more stuff I got to get to. We're not even close to done, so I'll go anywhere. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. I love you guys. You're the best. Folks, again, showing you how we have a contrast right now, right? Snapshots and sound bites, but campaigns in a binary system, Republican versus Democrat, it's a contrast. In a 10-person race, it's hard to create a contrast. Who do you create a contrast with? If it was a 10-person race where everybody was running on equal footing, do you go against candidate number 5, candidate number 7? We don't have that problem. And the contrasts are so powerful, I really genuinely don't understand how Kamala Harris is going to fix herself. Here's another one. She tells Brett Baer, hat tip Mays more for this one. She tells Brett Baer in this disastrous interview with Fox News, oh my gosh, I would never call the American people stupid. Seemingly forgetting that she's on video telling a bunch of young voters how stupid they are. Hat tip Mays Moore. Watch this again. The dumbest, worst retail politician we have ever seen. She cannot save herself. Watch this soundbite.
So are they misguided, the 50%? Are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
Does she not realize that she's on video talking about that? To the young people out there voting, this is your future. Hey, man, I don't want to get off topic. And while you're chatting out there, you can chat a comment on this. Just tell me to shut up. Folks, I'm 50, okay? I'm going to be soon. I always say it as if I hit it. It's December, but it doesn't matter. Close to 50. Large chunk of my life's already over. I had this bout with the cancer thing and all this stuff. I don't know how long. I don't know my expiration date. I hope I live to 100. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. But the hard reality is that's probably not likely. I'll probably make it to 70, maybe 80. Who knows? Hopefully 60. To the young people out there, most of my life is gone. Every second matters. I love my kids. I can't wait to see them get married and have grandkids and stuff. But most of my life is gone. Can I make one small appeal to you younger voters out there, college kids at 18 to 24 crowd? Maybe you're in grad school. Maybe you're working right now. You got your first job. You have your entire life ahead of you. Your entire life. Many of you haven't had kids yet. You haven't had the pleasure of going to a concert with your wife and then coming home to your kids who gives you a big hug when they come in the door. You will have those experiences. Do you want those experiences to happen in a country where you can speak freely online, control your own money, control where your kids go to school, you got a good healthcare system that can cure you of a disease you get? Or do you want to grow up in a country where the government tells you where you can go to the doctor, sends your kid to some shit falling apart public school, you're begging for a job because the economy sucks while they suck the life out of you with taxes? Please, go register to vote today. I think today's the last day in Pennsylvania, but get registered. Michael and Avita just beat the deadline. Get registered. They moved, and get out and vote early and in person. I am begging you as a friend. All right, back to the show. I want to show you another thing here, proving my point. Your entire future is ahead of you. Folks, if you were voting on I need a job, I'm sick of inflation, there is only one candidate. I don't care about mean tweets. I don't care if you liked his McDonald's visit. I don't care about anything. There are real records to run on. You have the Biden-Harris administration and the Trump administration. The Wall Street Journal put up this very easy to understand chart. Forget about COVID for a second. China did that to us. That was definitely a bioweapon from China, in my opinion. Forgetting about the COVID era crossed over from Trump to Biden. So when you wipe that out, okay, and you look at just what an economy looked like in a relatively normal time, you will see right here that inflation averaged 2.1% during Trump's presidency between 2017 and 2019, compared to 5.1% under Biden, more than double. I mean, these numbers aren't hard. Deficits totaled $2.4 trillion during Mr. Trump's first 3 years. Again, we're wiping out the COVID thing here, compared to $5.8 trillion during Mr. Biden's. The numbers are clear as day. Just look at the chart. If you want to pay more for stuff, then vote for Kamala Harris. She's been incredibly effective at inducing inflation with her boss, Joe Biden. It's really simple. You want to run up a national debt that's causing this inflation crisis? Why does the national debt cause the inflation crisis? What do the two have to do with it? Why does the government running up deficits cause an inflation crisis? Because, folks, if the government has to borrow money, who do you think they borrow money from? They borrow money both. They get quantitative easing. The Federal Reserve just prints more. And then secondly, they'll borrow money from the Social Security Trust Fund. They'll borrow money in the form of government bonds. They'll borrow money in the form of any kind of, like I said, quantitative easing where the Federal Reserve just prints money. And when they print and create all this money, they don't have the government and they spend it. They spent it, meaning they bought something. Someone goes and spends it again. And it causes more money to circulate around the economy, which causes prices to go up. That's it. In other words, higher debt, higher inflation. Every time. Here's Wall Street Silver, an account I follow. Here's the final numbers for Biden-Harris. 2024, the fiscal year ends in October, not January. Government revenue, $4.9 trillion. They raised in taxes. The interest on the national debt was $1.13 trillion. 23% of all of your tax dollars last year went to pay for interest on the debt. 30% it looks like next year. You want more of this, vote Kamala Harris. I want to play this one last clip for you because this is a good one. This one clip sums up pretty much the Harris versus the Trump thing. You got a businessman who's run billion-dollar businesses, everything from sports to food, entertainment to hotels. Then you got a businessman. He's won some, he's lost some, like every businessman, but he's finished on top. He's worth a lot of money. And then you got Kamala Harris, who has never had a real job in her life. The only job she claims to have appears to be a lie in McDonald's. Here's Kevin O'Leary, a brilliant guy. You probably know him from Shark Tank. He's on CNN. He gets into an argument with the Kamala Harris of reporters, Catherine Rampell. I don't know where she writes, the Washington Post, who I'm not even sure has had a real job either. She gets into this back and forth, and Rampell's lecturing this probably billionaire guy on what it's like to do business in China, despite the fact he does business in China. Watch this. Check this out.
I like the idea of going to war with China with tariffs to change behavior.
But it didn't change behavior. All it did was hurt American companies.
Weak leadership that doesn't know how to implement.
This is the same leadership. It was
No,
Trump who
it
launched
started
the
with
trade war
Biden,
with.
then it was Clinton saying, let's democratize China, let's show them democracy, and they'll play fair and they'll play fair.
But to Catherine's point,
it's
she's
time
saying,
to raise tariffs to China to 400%.
Hang on a second.
Trump already raised tariffs on China.
Not enough.
There have been many studies showing that U.S. companies and consumers are the ones who bore the cost.
Academic study. I'm doing real businut in China. I'm actually doing business there.
Yeah.
I'm actually working
American
there. There's no academics in my company.
Where do you think they buy their inputs from?
Let me explain something to you.
From China.
The Chinese
It
steal
hurts
my
American
IP. They make the same product with the molds that I pay for there. They ship them into this country under a different brand. I don't like it anymore, and I've been trying to solve this for 30 years.
If you tariff everything from China at
There's no
60%,
academic in my world.
You're going to be
doing business
paying
in
more
America.
for this.
There it is. There it is. That sums up liberals versus conservatives. Newspaper writers, media people, academics, Hollywood people, and sports folks who play center field for a baseball team or whatever, who've never actually owned a business, telling a guy who actually does business in China what it's like to do business in China, despite the fact they've never done business in China or, frankly, anywhere else. That